So you write about this at Ammo Land, and you break down a lot of the hidden ins and outs of this executive order. It's far-ranging. So first, let's just start with the universal background checks. What do viewers need to know about that push by Biden?
Well, he's pushing for universal background checks, and he's not supposed to be able to do anything without a law being passed by Congress. But what he is doing is directing the ATF and the Justice Department to change the definition of a person engaged in the activity of selling firearms for a profit. Basically, what he's trying to do is make anyone that sells a firearm, even if it's a private transfer, as a business. Most states right now, you can do a private transfer without having to go through an FFL. But in certain states, if you transfer more than a certain number of firearms, they consider you in the business of selling firearms. So we're not really sure what they're going to do, if they're going to put like a limit on there, or if they're going to say if you make a profit from selling a firearm, then you are in the business of selling a firearm, which is really problematic because firearms go up in price. They don't go up in they don't go down in price. My SKS that I bought for $300 a few years ago is worth almost 1,000 now. So if you're going to say if I sell that, I'm in the business of dealing in firearms, we don't know, but it's something that he is looking to use to circumvent Congress.
And it's just more of the same. The criminals always get let out. They can rain their terror all over the place, but the law-abiding gun owners have to pay for their crimes and keep being crunched more and more. And that again, once again, shows the political nature of all these discussions, despite it being covered up in talks of safety and wanting to protect, the populace at large. And so also in your article, you talk about the red flag law, some of those expansions, and almost the PR type aspect as well from this executive order. Can you discuss some of that for us?
Yes, what the Biden administration wants to do is do a huge PR campaign to say, hey, if you don't like this person owning a firearm, you can red flag them. This is how you can red flag them. This is what you have to say to get these people red flagged. And red flag laws are very, very problematic because they're not following due process. An ex parte hearing means that the defendant is not there to defend themselves. It is all based on the plaintiff, whoever's saying that you are a danger to yourself and others. And as we saw in Maryland, a man died because he was red flagged, and it was just over a family squabble, and it was just something to make his life a little bit harder, and he ended up getting shot by the police.
It really is such a shame because then, there's stories of an angry ex who'll go to cops and say, yeah, my ex, they're a psycho. You got to go in there, and of course, as you're saying with these hearings, the person's not there to represent themselves. They get stripped of their rights. The cops come in, take their guns. And then when it works itself out to realize, oh, you were actually the one being lied about. Well, then it's not like you just get your guns back anyways. You have to go through all sorts of, crazy, you have to twist yourself in all sorts of pretzels just to get your guns back. Sometimes that process can take several years to do. So it is a very, very dangerous slope to go down. And also, we heard Biden up there, and as you talk about in your article, working with various different agencies on this. So it's not just ATF. Some of it is even with working with the DOD when it comes to so-called military imagery, when it comes to the selling of guns, or even stipulations with firearm manufacturers and their government contracts saying, if you work with us, you can't sell X or Y guns to the public. So, that's one we don't normally think of. Like I said, usually it's the ATF, the FBI, but now it seems even the DOD may be getting on this. Can you dive into some of those details as well?
Yeah, it's not only the DOD, it's the Department of Transportation too, working with UPS and everything else to push out unconstitutional rules. But the DOD thing is scary because there are a lot of manufacturers that have big contracts with the military. For example, SIG just signed a huge contract with the military. Are they going to say, if you sell to us, you're not allowed to sell the similar guns to the public? And MCX is basically like a SIG version of what they're selling to the military, a civilian version of what they're selling to the military. Are they going to say you cannot sell that to the civilian population if you sell us the military version of it? It's really scary. And also this military